So to hinge your future on the potential of someone's potential being realized is playing Russian roulette with your heart. And the wrong person in the wrong move in the wrong moment will burst the chamber, literally. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome to lesson 4, where we are going to be talking about recognizing pride. You absolutely need to be aware if you are operating from a place of pride or if your partner or the person you're getting to know is moving with a heavy, heavy load of pride. And you know the craziest thing about pride? Pride will keep you in cycles, continuously being the same person in every relationship, having the same issues, the same breakups, the same heartaches over and over and over again, and dating the same person. Pride is such a dirty little thing, and it's so selfish because it wants to remain. It will keep you from engaging with people who could really be really good for you because that person represents a threat to it. And pride says to you that you deserve to be a certain way and that everyone else should conform to who you are. And so it's all about you. And any relationship that will make you feel like you can't continue to be the same person, you're going to have to grow, you're going to have to change, you're going to have to shift, adjust, adapt, compromise. You'll shy away from it. Any person who won't conform to your norm and what you want, you'll dismiss them or count them out or, push them away or not even give them a chance because you don't want to have to do any kind of shifting. You want them to do it all. If this is sounding familiar to you in any way, I don't want you to take offense. I want you simply, while we're talking about this, to be taking inventory of yourself and your past relationships and dating patterns to identify if this has been an issue for you, because maybe it has and you just don't even know it. Maybe you're not even aware that you've been operating in pride. And even if you are, there's still no judgment. I'm not concerned with where you've been and what you've been doing. I'm concerned with where you are now and where you're going. So take a minute and just think. Have you dealt with that from the perspective of you being the one carrying the pride? And have you dealt with that from the perspective of being in a relationship with someone who was really prideful? Have you been going in cycles with them, continuously dating prideful people because there's something in you that feels the need to adapt to other people and conform to who they are and what they want and what they do, because you've never been empowered to be yourself and to understand that there's mutuality and respect that's necessary for any healthy relationship. And it should never be you always giving in to be what the other person needs. Could that be true for you? Could it be that you never were affirmed enough to know that you are valuable and you matter? And instead, you've been made to believe that something's wrong with you and you're not capable, you're not wise enough, you don't know enough, you don't carry enough, or possess enough. And so you have to conform to other people. Again, if something's coming up for you while we're going through this, I just want you to breathe through it. And I want you to take note. And I want you to talk about on paper where you see yourself in this situation. And then start making a plan to deal with what you've written on that paper, to address it so that you don't take it into your future situations. One of the things that's extremely important in relationships is being able to say, I am sorry. That was my fault. I take the blame. The onus for that is on me. That was my responsibility. You know what? I'm going to hold myself accountable for this. But if you are prideful, you will refrain from apologizing. You will stop yourself from ever being vulnerable enough to say, you know what? My bad. That was on me. I dropped the ball. I fumbled the bag. I'm sorry. And if you cannot apologize for the things that you do. When you are wrong, you are communicating to your partner that you care way more about being right or looking good than you do about your relationship and their feelings. So, apologizing is necessary. You have to be able to communicate with your partner and let them know that you understand when you do things that aren't maybe good for the relationship or for them, even for yourself. They need to know that you are aware and you recognize, like, okay, this was an issue and I shouldn't have done this. Sometimes you're going to need to apologize, maybe not even because you're wrong, but for the sake of keeping peace and just because you don't have a need to be right. Sometimes maybe there will be no clear cut answer. There will be no clear cut responsibility for a certain situation. Prideful people can't do that. Pride will absolutely be the downfall of a relationship if it exists. It creates a barrier to connection, to closeness and intimacy. And if you are prideful, it's all about you, what you need, what you want, what benefits you, what the world thinks about things from your perspective, how the other person makes you look. If you're satisfied, if you're getting what you want or what you need, sounds like a lonely partner on the other side to me. Sounds like a neglected partner on the other side to me. Sounds like a forgotten partner on the other side to me. Pride also will keep you from asking for help in a relationship, which then will build resentment, maybe even towards your partner because they don't show up for you the way that you need them to show up for you or hope that they would show up for you. But because you never asked for help, they don't know you need it. They're unaware of the issue. No one's a mind reader. Yes, you should be able to learn your partner and kind of understand signals and, kind of know when things are going on with them. And that happens and develops over time through closeness, through connectivity, through intimacy. It doesn't just happen. But even then, you still will have times where you need to open your mouth and directly communicate and ask for what it is that you need. And so this, I hope, will help somebody learn to not place blame on their partner in situations and to be more responsible for what they need. Because sometimes we get real lax in the responsibility department when it comes to what we need once we get into a relationship. Because we're connected with this other person, we feel like they should just be meeting our needs. They should be just feeding us. They should just know what we need. Them showing up should provide some sort of fulfillment, et cetera, et cetera. And when that doesn't happen, then we all just get resentful. Because what am I with you for if I ain't getting what I need? But how is the other person supposed to know what you need? If you're prideful and you don't ask for help, you may even begin to resent your partner because you feel like they have it easier than you. And the truth may be simply that they are just better at asking for help. They just don't mind saying, hey, I can't handle all this on my own. Hey, I need a little support. Hey, I'm not sure how to do this. Would you mind helping me? Do you know? Are you aware? Can you assist me here? Hey, I'm tapped out and this really needs to be done. If you don't mind, or are you available? Could you? See, pride will keep you from getting what you need, right? It's one of those things where we think we're protecting ourselves when really we're not. We're just putting ourselves in a further vulnerable situation. And vulnerability is good in the sense where you allow yourself to let your guard down to connect and let people in. But it's not good when you leave yourself uncovered. See, we want to be vulnerable in ways that are beneficial to us to help us connect, love, and grow. But not in ways that's going to cause us harm, hurt, and danger. Pride could be, you hurt me, and I ain't like that. So I really want to make you suffer because I don't like the way that made me feel or made me look. So I'm going to keep sticking with this issue every time something comes up. Pride says I deserve to hang on to this issue. Anytime you feel like you're fighting your partner, something is wrong. Again, I think I talked about this in one of the previous lessons. You should never be fighting your partner. You should never feel like you're at war with your partner or at odds with your partner or that it's you against them. If that is what you're feeling, if that's the vibe, something is wrong. You need to press pause, push the brakes, step away. Don't come back until you figured out a way to engage as a team with your partner against the issue. Hey, babe, you know what? I don't like that this situation is causing some friction between us. I really hate that this has happened, but I want to work with you to figure out how we can move forward from this place so that we can get back to us, or so that we can continue building us and have a good relationship. I don't want to give power and authority to this issue that is trying to cause a separation between us, that is trying to cause a problem between us, that is trying to keep us apart. Truth is, yes, maybe I'm hurt about what happened. I don't like it. It wasn't pleasant. And the truth also is, I still really have an interest in getting to know you, or I still love you, or I still like you, or I still want to be with you, or I'm still very invested in this relationship. And I'm not going to allow anything to have the power or authority to tear it up. How can we together work on this issue? Here's what I need from you to be able to move past this. This is what I think I need anyway. And I need you to give me the grace today to say, this is what I think I need. And then to come back later to be able to say, you know what? I thought that's what I needed, but maybe it's not. And instead, this might be what I need to move past this moment. Is that okay? Do you think you can provide that? Can you allow that so that I can get past this space? And if somebody's coming to you like that, man, you better be open. You better be open. And if you can't be open, you tell them, you know what? Appreciate you coming to me like that. Let me think about it for a little bit. And you ain't got to say it so quick and easy, but I just didn't feel like dragging out a whole response just now, right? But you say, basically, you let them know that you appreciate them coming to you and wanting to work together and trying to not allow this situation or issue to separate the two of you, to cause friction or whatever. And how you're grateful that they're putting your relationship above the issue. And that you need some time to make sure that you are committing to something you know you can honor. Okay? And then you go and deal with your little feelings about it or whatever that you need to deal with. And then you come back. And that's the same on each side of the aisle. Pride is the opposite of humility. And humility is absolutely necessary for success in dating and relationships. You have to be humble enough to put your stuff aside and say, golly, man, this hurt, but I know that my heart is still in this thing, or my interest is still in this thing. I still desire this thing. So I'm going to put what I feel aside. Let me humble myself and say, you know what? It's more than just about me. And this other person's feelings matter just as much as mine. And you know what? I maybe need to communicate and let them know I actually need them. I don't want to do it, but I think I really need to, so that we can move this relationship to a new place. Or simply being humble enough to say, you know what? Dang, I need some help. And I need that from my partner. Hey, partner, can I tell you how you can help me? I've been really struggling with X, Y, and Z. Or I have a job that's really taxing, or, building a business is stressful. I didn't realize all that's going to go into it. And I really could use your expertise. You're so good at blah, blah, blah. Or, sometimes I get to doubting myself, and I really could use your support in those moments. You're always so good at reminding me of who I am and building me up. Because you got to be humble enough to tell somebody that they have the power to build you up. They have the power to make you feel better. They have something that you need. And these are things, if you think about it and you listen to them, you're like, well, duh, you want to have that between you and a partner in a relationship. But the truth is, it can be scary. It can be scary to get to that place with somebody, to realize that you're starting to depend on them a little bit, to realize that you really have given in a bit to who they are. And who they are helps you to be who you are. And that you really want that. And you really need that at this point. It can be scary, but we've got to be humble enough. And we've got to be able to throw our pride to the side so that we can have that relationship, so that we can nurture and build and maintain that relationship. We got to start, getting it together first, putting the building blocks on there. And then, put the little stuff in there to make sure they going to stick. And then to make sure we maintain them, we got to take care of them over time. Okay? That's what we're doing here. Figuring out how to lay a firm foundation. Y'all ain't like what I just did with that analogy just then. Brick laying. We laying bricks. Okay? All right. Because what we want to communicate to our partners is that we really are willing to put ourselves aside for the good of them and for our relationship. That we're selfless enough to give space to someone else. Because here's the thing, man. If you're selfish and you're prideful, you have no space for anyone else because it's all about you. So listen to me. If you get into a relationship with someone and it's all about them all the time, even when they're talking about situations with their friends or with work or with their family or with their community or just society at large, and it's always about them, baby, you got yourself dealing with someone that's moving in pride. And you probably need to exit stage left right away. No judgment, but that is for your own safety and protection. And I know, people change, but do they? And I'm not saying that people don't change, because of course people do change. We are all ever evolving creatures, and we do change, and we do learn how to drop bad habits and to replace bad behaviors or wrong behaviors or detrimental behaviors with positive and healthy ones. However, you never go into a relationship on the premise of someone changing. Yes, there is this innate expectation for growth and change and development. However, that is not guaranteed. So if you can't deal with that person as they are, don't even get started. Don't go in there. Don't open that door. Don't up that window. Don't make that outreach. Don't extend that invitation. Don't do it. Because if they never change, you are going to be dealing with the one thing or, whatever, all the things that you already saw were an issue before you even got into the relationship. And honey, trust me, this is also me speaking from a place of experience. I've been there. I've fallen in love with potential. I can see through people sometimes. And I'm like, yo, I see you. I see exactly who you are underneath everything that you've got on the surface right now. And I know that there is greatness within you. And I know who you can be. And I don't mind riding it out with you until you become that person. I'm not the girl that's like, oh, you got to have it all together right now and turn my nose up at anybody who doesn't. That used to be me. That used to be me. That used to be me. I'm going to give people the grace that I want people to give me. If I ain't got it all together, I want people to, see my greatness and see my potential and ride beside me and stick it out with me and give me a chance and blah, 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 blah. Honey, no, that's cool. That's cute, no. But in reality, it doesn't work. It does not work. Because that person may never realize their potential. Ooh. One of y'all need to rewind and listen to that again. Somebody needs to rewind that. No, don't rewind it. I'm going to repeat it. The problem with potential is we don't all achieve it. We don't all realize it. We never get there. Some of us will never get there. And I mean us as in people in general. So to hinge your future on the potential of someone's potential being realized is playing Russian roulette with your heart. And the wrong person in the wrong move in the wrong moment will burst the chamber. Literally. Do not get yourself caught up in any situations because you're banking on potential. Now, well, Deandra, what do you do when you really like somebody and you see their potential, but you don't want to get into it because you know you don't want to hinder your relationship on potential, and you know there are some things that you would need to see change before you really could invest yourself. I'm glad you asked. Make a friend. Make a friend and have some boundaries. It's okay to get to know people and to talk with people and to engage with people, but you do that from the seat of being their friend. You get you a front row seat to their lives, baby, and pop some popcorn. You interact, you engage, and you watch them over time. Is this person growing? Is this person moving towards something new? Is this person reaching for their potential? Is this person making an effort? Or are they satisfied with where they are? Are they able to recognize where they are and what may need to shift? Or are they oblivious? And then you get your answer again over time, which means, yeah, you got to be patient. Patient. And then what you also have to do is decide, do I stop dating while I'm sitting and watching this person? Or do I continue to see what's out there? And that's on you. I can tell you what I would do. If I was watching somebody for their potential, baby, I'm still dating. Because you may never get there. And I'm not going to sit here and waste all this time watching you when I could be exploring other connections. Because maybe I meet somebody who also ain't got it all together, but they're on a real upward trajectory to getting it together. They're working at it. They're showing promising signs. They've got history and receipts to say, hey, you know what, I ain't got it all right now, but let me show you where I've been and where I am now. Let me show you the track. Let me show you my track record. Let me show you how I got here. And let me show you my plan for the future. Let me show you where I'm going. And if it don't look just like this, it's going to look something like this or better. Because I ain't going to stop till I get it. And get you one of them. I'm in full support of that. Full support. But I mean real proof. Real proof and recent proof. And tangible proof. Like, I really want to see where you're going. I really want to know your plans. I really want to hear where you, and not just fantasy, thoughts and wishes and dreams. No, like for real, what's the plan? What's the ABC of it? How you gonna get there? What you gonna do? And let me see exactly where you came from. What happened? What was your life like? What were you dealing with? What have you overcome? Who can vouch for that? And of course, you're not asking these questions to them like you're an interrogator. You're just engaging in a way to learn this information. So the point that got me there is, don't hinge anything on the potential for this person to change and be better. If you know this person is dealing with pride before you even get into a relationship, you might really want to think quite a few times about engaging before you do it. Because selflessness is necessary for a successful, healthy relationship, because there will be times that you need to put your partner before yourself. That is love. Love is, we both have needs. And in this moment, I am choosing to honor yours above mine out of love and respect for you. Now, I'm not saying at the detriment of myself, I'm taking care of somebody else. No, no, no. If you've never really been in love, if you've never seen it, if you never really experienced it, this may be a hard concept for you to grasp, but try to follow me. You will get to a point in love where your partner becomes so important to you that their health and wealth is your health and wealth. And you will sometimes make decisions for their sake above your own. Because really, in the long run, them being good is you being good. Even in the short term sometimes. And if you marry someone who's selfish and prideful, they may never be capable of that. And if you get there with them, but they're not there with you, you're going to feel some type of way. You're going to question them. And again, you never want to leave anything up for question in your relationship. You have to be able to invest in your relationship and your partner. But if you're selfish and prideful, you'll invest more in yourself than you ever will in your partner and your relationship. Now, should you be invested in yourself? Absolutely. We have to be whole, healthy people. Okay? If we're going to be successful in relationships, and let me tell you, that's one of the biggest differences as well. In that preparedness that I've experienced clients having is a sense of wholeness. It's a sense of oneness with self. It's a sense of identity that, you know what, I'm good with me. I'm just needing somebody to partner with it. I just want somebody to partner with it. I'm just looking for somebody to partner with me. The wholeness is necessary. So you have to invest in yourself in order to be a whole, healthy, happy person, in order to be able to give what you need to give to your relationships, because relationships do require effort and energy constantly. But when you're in a good one, it makes the way easy. I want to do this. I want to deal with this. I want to address this. I want to work on this. I want to invest this. I want to put forth the energy. Because this thing is good to and for me. Think about the things you love doing and all that they require. You don't mind doing those things because it's what you love doing. Versus things that you don't love doing and you got to put a little extra into it and you like, I really ain't trying to hear this. So you're going to need to sometimes invest more into your partner in moments and in the relationship than you do in yourself in that moment, right? Like, I really want to go and play ball with the fellas, or I really want to go shopping with the girls. But right now, my relationship needs me to be here and to show up for it. And if you're prideful, you can't be spending time investing in your relationship because you're spending up all your energy on you. If your partner is prideful, they're expending all of their energy on themselves, which leaves you out in the cold, uncovered, vulnerable to the elements. And when the elements do what the elements do and cause injury, an issue, and upset to your body, well, you're on your own men too, because again, they're worried about themselves. And you're sitting there feeling alone, abandoned, rejected, devalued, unappreciated, unloved. All the things. All the things that make for a sad person in a relationship, an unhappy person in a relationship who wants then to separate or divorce or to break up, etc. So how do we break pride? Well, of course, first of all, we're going to acknowledge it, which I told you guys, if something's coming up for you during the course of this, lesson today, you're writing it down. That is your first step in acknowledging it. And at some point, I need you to say out loud to yourself, man, I'm prideful. Or I didn't realize how prideful I am. Look yourself in the mirror if you have to, whatever you got to do, so that you feel it, so that you realize it, so that you really acknowledge it to your core. Then I want you to start thinking about what it is that might cause you to be prideful. What leads you to be that way? Is it something that you've had to deal with your entire life? Is it something that you developed as a protective mechanism? Are you prideful because someone taught you to be that way? Is that the way that you were taught to be a man? To be full of pride? Is that the way that you were taught to protect yourself from men? To be full of pride? Is that the only way that you could get people to acknowledge you when you were younger? Did you start having to pat your own self on the back and build yourself up because no one around you would do it? Your whomevers in your life didn't do it. And so you were left to yourself to figure out a way to make sure you felt good about you. Did you maybe just listen to some bad advice one time? Overhear somebody having a conversation and decide to kind of take on whatever they were talking about in order to achieve some sort of goal? What is it? What are you afraid of? Because if you ask me, pride is built in fear. If I don't do these things, then what? If I don't make it all about me, then what? Am I afraid to be forgotten? overlooked, not seen, unheard, misunderstood, replaced. What is it? You gotta figure out what it is. You can't fix anything if you don't figure out why it's broken. I don't know not one thing in life that you can just fix without knowing what's wrong with it. You take your car to the shop, they're gonna put it on the lift and they're gonna diagnose it, or they're gonna hook it up to a machine to get a little diagnostic report, figure out what's wrong with it. When you go to the doctor, they're gonna ask you your symptoms, they're gonna check up on you, try to figure out what's wrong so they can subscribe a solution and a remedy to the problem. They're gonna try to get to the core of the issue, to the root of it. The next thing you need to do is take note of your patterns, your behavioral patterns. How do you express pride? What tangible things do you actually do that are prideful? What behaviors do you engage in? What things do you say? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat other people? How do you engage? How do you not engage? Out of pride. And then you want to create a plan to change those behaviors. You want to do some behavioral replacement. What are these things that I'm doing? And what can I do instead? What unhealthy thing am I engaging in? And what healthy thing can I replace that with? It's like when you're getting healthy, you're going on a diet, you're trying to eat better. You get all the food, the junk, right? Snacks are your problem. Chips, donuts, and cookies. Instead of eating the chips, donuts, and cookies, you say, okay, what can I replace these things with? I'm going to eat fruit. I'm going to eat some celery and carrot sticks. And I'm going to drink a smoothie. Whatever. I'm going to have some vegetarian blah, 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 or some vegan meatballs. I'm going to eat a little tofu instead of this steak. You want to replace what is not working and what does not work and what is perpetuating the cycles of pride with behaviors that will instead produce and provide what you do want, which is selflessness, openness, vulnerability, love, connection, growth, evolution, development, all the things, so that you don't stay stuck in pride. Walking away from a life of pride, from prideful demeanor and behavior and disposition, it's a choice, just like everything else in this life. You got to choose to do it. You have to say, you know what? Ain't no way I'm going to stay in this. I'm not going to continue to allow myself to be in this place. I'm out of here. Pride, no more, no longer. I break up with you, and I'm choosing me. I'm choosing my future. I'm choosing success in love and dating. I'm choosing joy and happiness. You got to go. Got to give that thing, serve that thing an eviction notice. Get up out of here. Okay? Get up out of here. I ain't got nothing to prove. You ain't protecting me. This doesn't give me any power. My true power is found in my identity and who I am and my ability to allow myself to be vulnerable and to put myself out there and to connect with people and engage in ways that bring me love and peace and happiness and belonging and comfort. I can find what you're trying to tell me you're offering me somewhere else. Pride, get out of here. And vulnerability is something that is good for me. I need it. And I'm going to engage with it. And I'm going to trust that the people I choose to be vulnerable with got my back. And if anything happens to happen, that's okay. That's the risk that I'm willing to take in love. But I'm going to nurture my relationship the best I can. And I'm going to try to communicate the best I can to potentially avoid those types of things. But what I can't control, that's okay. I'll recover and I'll be better for it. The other thing that's really important when you're talking about breaking pride is focusing on the benefits of letting go of that pride. Think of everything that you could have by doing away with pride. And the thing that, and one of the ways that you can think of those benefits is by thinking of all you've lost because of it. Think about every relationship that's been damaged because of your pride. Think of all the problems you've had because of your pride. Think about all the stuff you done got into because of your pride. Think of the opportunities that you have missed out on because of your pride. Think of everything you suffered because of your pride. Now imagine none of that stuff is happening. None of that stuff exists or carries any weight anymore. None of it has the opportunity or the chance to come back because you're not going to operate from that place anymore. Think about all the beautiful things that can be true if you really just release that thing and let it go. And then you just commit to being different. Commit to changing your life. First for you, and then for the benefit of everyone around you. Before I start to close, if you are dealing with somebody who's moving, operating in pride, you only have so much of a responsibility to them. Now, don't take these tips I just gave for someone to break pride and think now you're supposed to go use them to help somebody break pride. Now, you can share this information with them without taking on the responsibility of healing them and of helping them walk away from a life of pridefulness, even if you are in a relationship with them. It is not your duty, your job, or your responsibility to heal the people you date. And I can tell you that from my own personal experience. Don't put that on yourself. That's not your burden to bear. Now, that doesn't mean you can't support people through their stuff sometimes or ride with them, or that you should abandon people all the time if they're going through something. That is not what I'm saying. But do not take on the responsibility of other people's stuff. Their journey is their journey, and they need to deal with their stuff and overcome it. If you remove people's process, they will never learn what they need to learn, and they will never be able to become who they're supposed to become or do the things they're supposed to be able to do. So, deep breath. Take it all in. I get it. Some of this stuff is like, it's a little heavy. Can be a little heavy. But again, I want you to be ready. I want you to be prepared. I want you to be able to spot pride a mile away. Oh, that person talk about themselves too much. That's a prideful person. I'm going to get up out of that. I ain't even going to engage. I ain't even going to put myself in this situation. Well, you know what? I'm a little curious about this person, but I wonder if they're prideful. You know, some little things are standing out to me. I'm going to sit back and watch for a little bit to see what's up. Because sometimes we forget that we have an option of just kind of watching people for a while before engaging with them. You ain't got to be somebody's girlfriend, boo thing, or, just start dating them right away. It's okay to engage and just watch. That's okay. They talk a good game, but are they moving towards anything? Do you see them making some moves? And if not, why not? And if so, okay, are they moving forward or are they just sidestepping? I want you guys to be fully prepared and equipped to get out there and get it right. Get the love you desire. Have the relationship you want. And hold on to it. I'm a big ball of fluffy love. I love everything, the googlies, the ooey gooeys, the fuzzy wuzzies, the warms and cuddlies about love. I love it all. And I want as many of us to be able to go out and have happy, healthy relationships as possible. So I'm gonna sit here and record these videos with the whole sinus infection and whatnot and my voice tapping in and out. Because more of us need it than those of us who don't, I think. So I'm going to put it out there and make it accessible to people. Because again, if you ask me, we should have had a class in high school that was about dating. That health class, or maybe there should have been a segment of health class that was about dating and not just STDs. Okay, thank you. And what else? How do I guard my heart? Tell me that. Anyway, I'm going to hop up off my soapbox because y'all know I can get up on it and stay there. Next week, we are moving into date prep. Lesson 5. Oh, date prep. Man. Oh, we talking about all the things. I'll see you next week.